everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Rhonda, better known as Hot Mess Mama MD. On today's video, it's another edition of Is It a Dupe or Just a Waste of Money? What we'll be testing out is the new palette by Glazed called Impressed You. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. So if you're interested to find out whether or not this is a dupe for the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, then make sure to stay tuned. But as always, before we get started, please make sure to hit that like button down below. As well as if you are new to my channel, I do upload 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like to see more of my content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, as well as the little bell next to it, and that way you'll be notified every time that I upload a video. So without further ado, let's get into finding out whether or not this is a dupe for the $38 Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. Okay, so like half the time I'm finding out that this is not in frame. Ha! Now it is. Okay guys, so as you guys can see, I've already done my eyes, and we are going to get into swatches and tutorial a little bit later into the video. Real quick, I just want to go over with you the packaging, the cost, where you can pick this palette up, all of that good stuff. So right off the bat, this is the palette right here that I am talking about. This is by Glazed, and it is called Impressed You. This is like a textured type of palette, and it has like this nice shimmery sheen to it. Looks like glitter, but it's not super glittery. What it reminds me a lot of is the Laura Lee palette. However, what you can see with the Laura Lee is a lot of sparkle and shimmer, and this is more of like a matte type of shimmer. Like I said, it is kind of a rough textured type of palette. And on the back, this is one thing that I do enjoy, is the fact that the ingredients and everything are listed right on the back. With that, I will tell you guys, this is a expiration of 24 months, and it does say that it is cruelty free. However, it does say it is made in the PRC. Just so you guys know, because I know some of you guys will ask me that. The one thing I do like is it does tell you when it was manufactured, and it actually has the expiration date listed down below. So I found that to be very nice. With that being said, the ingredients, the number one ingredient is mica, then comes talc, calcium, titanium, can't pronounce it, but it's all listed right here. So maybe hopefully my camera's being good and in focus, and you guys can pause it and see. Anything else about here? There is a total of 35 shades in here, and like I said, we are going to get into the swatches in a little bit. There is a mixture of mattes and a little bit of shimmers. Now, as you know, this is supposed to be a dupe for the Jaclyn Hill palette. You can pick this up on SHOPHUSH.com. As always, I'm not sponsored or affiliated or anything like that with any of the palettes that I am talking about today. I did not pick mine up off of SHOPHUSH.com. It is $25 in case I forgot to mention that. I actually picked mine up off of Amazon, and it was like $11 and change, just under $12. So throughout the video, you guys are going to hear me say this palette was $12. A little bit more, like I said, this is supposed to be a dupe for the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. The Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette does retail for $38. You now can pick it up not only at Morphe's website, but at Ulta's website as well. If you do pick it up at Ulta's website, you can use the $3.50 coupon. Just like at Morphe's site, you can use like a 10% off coupon. But I will tell you guys, if you do pick it up at Ulta, you can find it in store, a majority of the Ulta stores, as well as you can find it online. And last time I checked, Ulta's website shipping is much cheaper than Morphe's shipping. So something to keep in mind. So not only can you use that 10% off code at Morphe, but at Ulta, you can use the $3.50 off coupon, as well as you can shop through Ebates. If you've never heard of Ebates, as always, I'm not sponsored or affiliated, but I do have a referral link down below in my description box. That's the way to go, guys. I'm telling you. So anyways, let's go ahead. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about as far as this palette goes. I don't have the Jaclyn Hill Morphe box with me anymore, so I don't have on here like how long it lasts or anything like that. I will tell you guys, this I picked up when it very first released, and I was one of the lucky ones that didn't get the name shade in mine. So yeah, there's that. This one does not have the name shades on it as well, or did it come with one? So overall, I mean, I'm kind of winging it on both of them. So that's all I have to say with that. I'm going to go ahead and get into the swatches and the tutorial. Okay, so here are the first 5 shades right here. Again, the Jaclyn Hill is on the bottom. The Beauty Glaze is on top. Okay, so again, here are the next 5 shades. Okay, here are the next 5 shades. I know I kind of messed up a little bit, but again, you're going to see not very many of them match up. And again, here are the next 5. Jaclyn Hill on the bottom, Beauty Glaze on top. You're going to see as we get into darker shades how pigmented the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette is compared to the Beauty Glaze. Okay, here are the next 5. Again, Jaclyn Hill on the bottom, Beauty Glaze on top. Okay, here are the next 5. Again, pigmentation. The undertones are off, except these greens. I feel like the greens came in pretty good on the Beauty Glaze side. Okay, here are the last 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Okay, so I went ahead, I've already primed my eyes, not only using my concealer, which was Maybelline in ColourPop, but I did use some of the e.l.f. under eye primer as well, so that's on my lids, and I did set it with my e.l.f. HD powder. So let's go ahead and get into it. One side, of course, will be with the Jaclyn Hill $38 Morphe palette. The other side will be with the Beauty Glaze Impressed You $12 palette. So as always, I will be using the exact same brushes, however, cleaning them in between. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so as you can see, no matter what color I am picking from this Beauty Glaze side so far, it is not matching up at all. At all. So now what I have to do is I have to go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette and just start building up different colors to try and make it match the opposite side. This was the issue that I was running into when I was trying to do just a first impression of this particular palette right here. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm just going to jump back into the Jaclyn Hill palette, try and get it to match this shade or this side, and then see where we can go from here. This was exactly the issue I ran into when I was doing a first impression of this palette. So instead of doing a first impression, I played around with it a little bit more, and this just seems to be a continuous issue that I find when I am trying to dupe the shades from the Jaclyn Hill palette over to the Beauty Glaze palette. That's why I went through all 70 shades of the eyeshadows together, so y'all could see, just even with the swatches, what kind of issue we run into with the eyes. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, try and build up some other shades to at least try and get it to match the Beauty Glaze side, and then we will go from there. Actually, I was going to do underneath my eye, but at this point, the colors are just so off and everything like that. I'm just gonna hop off and do my liner, my lashes, and I'll be right back to chit chat with you guys about this palette. Okay, so I'm back with my liner and my lashes, and as always, everything on my face will be listed down in the description box below, as well as if you haven't checked out my other videos, I do have what's called magic links down there. So if you click on those links, it takes you directly to the website where you can actually purchase the item that I am talking about or that I used on my face, as well as if you do happen to purchase with that link, I do receive a little bit of a kickback. So thank you guys so much if you do decide to purchase any items with using my link. So anyways, let's talk about this palette. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna zoom y'all in so we can get a look at the final product, and then we're gonna chat about it. Okay, so here's the final look. As always, this was the Beauty Glaze side, this was the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette side. And as always, there is no judging on the blending or the lack thereof. I don't know why I'm singing. I had a lot of coffee again today, guys. I am so coffee strong. But anyways, that is the final look. This is what I was able to create. Let's zoom out and let's talk about this, because Mama has a lot to talk about. Okay, so let's get into talking about this palette, guys. let me start off, because I hate to be negative ever on my channel. You guys have seen the things I hate, or the things I regret purchasing. That was a hard video for me. I try and be as positive as possible when it comes to reviewing makeup and things like that, but at the same time, I want to be 100% honest with you guys. And here's what I'm going to start out with. I'm going to start out with the positive side of this particular palette. Let's talk about the formula of the Beauty Glazed Impress You eyeshadows. I do feel like, as far as the shadows that I did use, I did feel like they blended out very well, and they built it up fairly well as well. I wouldn't say all of them are the most pigmented types of eyeshadows. And as well as, this is a palette you can actually pick up on SHOPHUSH.com for $25. Here's where I'm going to get negative with you guys. Do I feel like this palette is worth 25 of your hard-earned dollar bills? Absolutely not. No, 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 no. I personally did not pick this palette up off of SHOPHUSH.com. I picked it up off of Amazon. And with that being said, I paid just under $12 for it. I think it was like $11 and maybe 89 cents or 63 cents or something like that. So that's why I'm saying it's $12. Is this palette worth $12 of your hard-earned money? If, and only if, you are looking for a colorful palette, you are new to makeup, and colors maybe scare you a bit and you're just kind of starting out, then yes. Then I would recommend this palette. Yeah. Yeah. Not that I'm trying to be negative. I don't think this is a horrible palette or anything like that. I think that there are colors in here that are very strong, that, you know, work very well. I think that this color right here, it looks like a really pretty shade, and with this one in particular, this is this gold shade right here. You need to use your finger with it. You know, and I don't think that that is like the end of the world with shadows if you have to use your finger. I really don't think that that is the worst thing ever. In the beginning, when I first started my channel last year, I was not a fan of using my fingers, and I think it was probably because I had like my 10-inch long nails, and so it makes things a bit harder to get into those shadows. You know, but now you guys will see, you know, with certain shadows, I will kind of put my finger in and dab it on and things like that, and they work really well. I will tell you guys, I have played around with like spraying my brush with Fix Plus from MAC, and that helps the pigmentation of these shadows as well. Now, I will tell you guys, after playing around with both of these palettes, that some of these shades, and a majority of these shades, you know, there are 35 shades in here, a majority, I would probably say, oh man, I don't know, 85 to 90% of the shades are not going to reach the pigmentation of the Jaclyn Hill palette. You know, I know that sounds really, really horrible. There are some shades that you can dupe the shade out 100%. It looks pretty spot on. But as you guys saw, I really had to finesse the Jaclyn Hill palette to get the shades that this is supposed to be, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is, you know, this, for example, okay, let me open the Jaclyn Hill. This shade right here, this right here, okay, this is supposed to be the dupe for this shade right here, which was the very first color that I applied to my lids. So here it is, the Jaclyn Hill. That's the shade right there on my finger. Now going into this one, there you go. So as you guys can see, that it's just more of like a yellow cream undertone, as well as, do you guys see how the pigmentation is so far off? And the crazy thing too is the Jaclyn Hill one has like this really pretty like sheen to it. Oh, ignore the little dot back here, guys. Do you guys see that? Okay, a lot of people will like make fun of my backdrop ADD moment, guys. People make fun of my backdrop and they're like, oh, it's glitter, it's sparkle. Yeah, it is. And I have a backdrop because literally right behind me is my entire bedroom. And hence this right here, that is one of my Scentsy melt warmer thingies. And I forgot that I had it on right there. Anyways, that is why I have a glittery backdrop. That and the fact that I love all things glitter, guys. So boom, boom, boom. There you go. But anyways, back to the Jaclyn Hill shade. The Jaclyn Hill shade is like this really pretty satiny type of shimmer sheen to it. It's just gorgeous. And this Beauty Glaze one is just this like matte color. There's no shimmer to it. And that was one thing that I found to be with a lot of the shades in the Beauty Glaze, that over at the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, you're going to find colors that are shimmery or have a really pretty satin look to it. And then you jump over to try and match it up in the Beauty Glaze palette and it's matte and there's no sheen or shimmer or anything to it. And it was like, you know, and like I said, some of the a lot of the other undertones were just completely off. Now, with that being said, if you do not own the Jaclyn Hill palette and you just pick this up and, you know, people were like, oh my gosh, this is a total dupe for the Jaclyn Hill palette, then yeah, you're totally going to think it is. But one thing I want to tell you guys, and you guys can check YouTube out and all the reviews on the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This palette is amazing. They've like reformulated all of their Morphe formula, their eyeshadows, and it's just this creamy, rich, pigmented, easy to blend out, easy to build up shadow. So even if you go in very light-handed, which I've taught myself to do, and just really start building up the shadows, you can always get this beautiful blended. I feel like these are one of the easiest shadows to blend out. I never seem to struggle. Like, these remind me a lot of how a Natasha Denona eyeshadow just blends out so seamlessly and with like hardly any effort. I feel like that's what I get with this Jaclyn Hill palette. It just is very, very easy. So if you are new to makeup, I would suggest getting the Jaclyn Hill palette because I feel like you're not going to struggle as much. Now, like I said, I felt like formula-wise these were nice and they blended out well, and you know, you could build them up, but you're never going to get the pigmentation that you would get using the Jaclyn Hill palette, to be 100% honest with you guys. And like I said, if you do not own the Jaclyn Hill palette, I feel like you're going to think that this is a great palette and it's going to be a good dupe. But as you guys saw in my swatches, the pigmentation isn't there, the color range isn't there, and this by far was probably the hardest, absolutely the hardest is it a dupe or just a waste of money video I have ever filmed. And yes, I was able to achieve almost identical looks, but it wasn't with grace, and it wasn't with it was with a lot of patience and frustration, and maybe I'm being a little dramatic there, but like I said, this is the second time trying to film this video. The first time I tried to film this video, I was just going to do it as a first impression, which is how I do a lot of my dupe videos. But I learned very quickly, very fast, that you have to really finagle the shadows to get the Jaclyn Hill. Like I think I started to say before, you may think you are like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to use this shade, or I'm going to use this shade, whatever shade it was that I used, and you jump over here and you match the shade up and you're like, oh yeah, that's totally going to match. I'm trying to find where it was. I think it was this one. And then you put it on and it's like really, really orangey. It's like a really orangey undertone. You're like, wait a minute, this was more of like a pink undertone. So that was an issue that I found to be with a lot of the colors here, is the undertones are just completely different. They're more of a warm undertone with the majority of the shades versus the Jaclyn Hill. The ones that look like they have a pink undertone truly have a pink undertone, whereas here they may look like they have the pink undertone or the cool type of undertone, and they end up being like this funky warm undertone. It's just, I don't know. I know I'm rambling. We're like 12 minutes deep here almost, and hopefully I can really condense this video down. It's going to be a long one, guys, but I just wanted to be thorough. I wanted to be honest with you guys. Like I said, the first time I tried filming this, it was a first impression and I was hot to trot. I was not a happy camper with this. I was so frustrated because no matter what I was doing, it was just taking forever to try and get these shades to match. Like I said, that is why I literally went through all 70 of these shadows to show you guys the struggle that I was having. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If this palette works great for you, that's fabulous. Like I said, I'm not trying to knock it as far as it being a bad palette. Like I said, I felt like the formulation was pretty easy to work with and things like that. And if you are new to makeup and you are new to colors, I think for $12 this would be a good option. However, if you are a makeup enthusiast and you love playing with a bunch of different makeups and you are used to a Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette type of situation as far as formula goes, I think you're going to become very, very frustrated with the Beauty Glazed palette such as I did. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe I'm, you know, maybe I'm pre-PMSing. I don't know, but I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. Hey guys, so I wanted to jump back on here and give you guys like a little check-in of the evening. It's about 9:11 at night, and I just wanted to show you guys. Now, this is the Beauty Glaze side. I know my lighting is not the best, and of course this was the Jaclyn Hill side. So as far as longevity goes, the longevity is totally there as far as the Beauty Glaze palette goes. But like I tried to tell you guys before, it was just the colors were just completely off. So one thing that I did forget to do for you guys is a side-by-side comparison so you guys could see. So what I'm going to do next is just lay both palettes down so you guys can see the comparison and things like that. Okay guys, so here's the side-by-side of the colors. This one is the Beauty Glazed color. Sorry about the lighting. This one being the Jaclyn Hill. And right away, like just looking at it, it looks the same. Or, well, I wouldn't say it looks the same, but it looks very, very similar in this kind of lighting. But as you know, you saw the swatch on this one, and then the swatch over here with this one. You can tell the Beauty Glaze one is definitely more of an emerald green, where the Jaclyn Hill one is definitely more of a like hunter type of green. So again, this is the Jaclyn Hill side. This is the Beauty Glazed side. And I mean, like I said, just looking at them, you know, if you didn't know, you would probably assume they were. But like I said, there were so many of them that were just off by more than a teeny tiny bit that I just can't consider this a really good dupe. Like right here in this lighting, this one and this one look like they match. But see what I'm talking about here, guys? Do you see? That's where I was struggling on the shades. You know, I mean, look at the difference. So it may look like it might match on the Beauty Glaze side, but then when you jump over to try and match it up, that's the issues that you're running into right here. And see how more so those shades look like they match? So that's what I was trying to stress to you guys earlier. I know I'm not always the best at, you know, explaining my thoughts in my head, but I hope that this video really helps you guys out. So anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below, as well as if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell next to it, and that way you'll be notified every time that I upload a video. So until next time, my friends, as always, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, and blessed day. Kisses from Kentucky.